Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Assignment questions which are there. So the first question they ask you is, what is social mobility? We have just talked about it. Social mobility is defined as the movement of individuals or groups from one strata or from one social status to another. That is what is known as social mobility. Moving ahead to what are the two types of vertical mobility. When they talk about the two types of vertical mobility, they do talk about the social mobility here, and they do talk about the spatial mobility here that we talked about, wherein this one has to do with in terms of the society, and here it is more of a geographical understanding of mobility. Moving to what is the next question, that is what is spatial mobility. We have talked about it. It refers to the movement from one place to another. It is the movement that we have from one place to another, and like I talked about, even if it is that small of keeping a chair from here, from this position to here, you can see the distance covered. You can have a geographical aspect to this kind of movement, and that is what is termed as the spatial mobility. What is Sanskritization? Sanskritization is a process. It is a term given by M.N. Srinivas, wherein the people of the lower caste adopt the customs, adopt the rituals, adopt the ideologies of the people of the higher caste, and that is how there is this mobility seen in the caste system. Moving to the short answer questions, you have differentiate between the horizontal and the vertical mobility. We did talk about how the vertical mobility is something that is hierarchical, that is a result of inequalities present. However, the horizontal mobility is something as moving to the similar strata or moving within the strata only. However, this is interstrata. This mobility movement is within the strata only. Define the intergenerational mobility with one example. When you talk about the intergenerational mobility, it means the mobility that you have seen in terms of a farmer and his son being an engineer. It is a mobility in the class that you have seen over generation, over a period of time, over one generation. This is what is known as intergenerational mobility, and an example is what you can take of a farmer or a son being an engineer, or a farmer or a rickshaw puller, and the son and the daughter being a government servant, or any of the startup person as well. Again, the question says, what is Sanskritization? In the previous slide only we have talked about what is Sanskritization. You may please refer to that. Moving to the essay type questions, explain different types of social mobility. We have talked about the vertical and the horizontal mobility. We have talked about the intergenerational and the intragenerational mobility. All of this is something that you can talk about in your answer. Moving ahead, explain how social mobility takes place in the caste system. The whole concept of how Sanskritization takes place, that has been explained in the previous slides by M.N. Srinivas. As the term given by M.N. Srinivas here is what will explain properly. So basically in this question you have to explain the term and the concept of Sanskritization. I hope the whole concept of social stratification and the social mobility is clear to all of you, and you are able to answer the questions. Also, you are able to relate to the discussion of their questions.